Living off the highway system in rural Alaska, there's less separation between outdoor life and indoor life. I take a rowboat from the harbor and row about 20 minutes around a little headland into the cove where my studio is.
Come on, come on, come on. I'm fortunate to be able to coach really good athletes. I think that when you're successful, that it is a combination of, you being able to get the best out of your athletes, but you have to have good athletes to work with.
You kind of look back at your life and you think, did I live to the most extent? Do I have anything held back? Do I have anything I need to say to a family or a friend?
I started cutting paper when I was in high school. I just played around with it for years. And then I went to college and I studied drawing. And in my third drawing class, I did a project where I ended up cutting the drawing out of black paper. And I brought it into the professor and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is what you do. Like you cut paper." I'm Felisa Higman, and I'm a cut paper artist in Olivia, Alaska. We're here at my studio. This is how I stay warm while I wait for my fire to heat up. My dad and my grandfather built the house and the shop that I work in. It's kind of designed to be a creative space. It was a different sort of creativity, but it feels really good for just inspiration and making things. I feel like Alaska's different than anywhere else, and having grown up here, I didn't want anything more than to just get out. I decided I really just wanted to travel around the world and see everything and go everywhere and live somewhere with more people and more options. My seat's too cold to sit on yet. The first year it was just like everything was great, like there's so many things to see and people to meet. But then by the second year, I started to realize that like people's values were a lot different than mine. And so I missed being in a place where like you have to think about things. You don't just go buy things if they're broken. You have to really think about what you need and what you just want. Living off the highway system in rural Alaska, there's less separation between outdoor life and indoor life. There's definitely frustrations, but it's better to be frustrated than it is to be bored. This is part of my Alaska Problem series, which was like first world problems, but Alaska style. So everybody had a story about bears eating things they weren't supposed to. This was a bear ate my bicycle. And this was because my dad had, I think, 2 bike seats eaten by bears. They like anything that's kind of smushy and, you sweat on it a little bit. It's got a little salt on there. It's really delicious. The one that I really wanted to do is when your doors are frozen and you can't get into your car. I mean, really, you just like sit there and pull on the door until you figure out how to get it open because there's not really anything you can do. There were the 2 sides of the coin. You wake up in the morning, it's so cold you just can't get out of your bed. And then you get out of bed and you go make your fire, and then it gets so hot in your house that you are boiling. This one was another one from that series. So this one was fishing and you get all the bugs around your head and it's like a halo. line that I transfer onto that black paper, and I cut away everything except for the lines. So I'm left with like a thin lacework of black lines. And then I'll piece together different kinds of papers with different textures and different colors. I work from front to back in the image, so whatever's in the foreground I have to do first, so you can see when you look at a finished piece what's closest to the viewer and what's farther away. I think everybody wants to tell you how you can make more money, and that's not the point. Making more money isn't the point. I need to make enough money, but I don't need to make more. Just need to get by. It's hard to convince people that what I do is work because they think I'm just here doing what I want, right? Like if you're doing what you love, then obviously it's not work. So I get lots of job offers and lots of suggestions of what I should do. I'm like, why would I do that? I'm doing fine. I'm making a living as an artist. What could I ask for? This is great. I started a series of Alaskan fairy tales. I did an Alaskan Little Mermaid, Alaskan Cinderella, and Jack and the Beanstalk, which was Jack and the Pushki Stock. Through conversations with friends and family and stuff like that, we kind of like talked about the different fairy tales and what would that fairy tale be like if it was in Alaska. And so one of the ones that was really striking to me was Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and maybe partly because this year we had an insane number of black bears in town and they got into all sorts of mischief. And so Goldilocks and the Three Bears is about a mischievous girl that breaks into a bear's house, but we all know that in Alaska it would be mischievous bears breaking into people's house. So Goldilocks is out chopping firewood and she comes home to absolute chaos. I'm always looking for inspiration in the world around me. So I like the way people interact with the environment. Having my niece and nephew here and watching them grow up has been really fun. There you go.
Okay, yeah, we got a lot.
Oh, it's got a gunnel. Look, it's a gunnel with eggs.
2 gunnels.
I want to share pretty things with people. Like I want to make beautiful things. Is that a skeleton shark? Whoops, now he's gone. I have all this beauty around me. I want to be able to send that out into the world and share that with people.
Come on, G up. Come on, Sam. Good, good. Nice, nice. Stay with it. Push, 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 push. Don't get screened, Matt. Don't get screened. Board, 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 board. Not a baby Keith. Nice shot. My name is Shelley DeLogger, and I coach the boys varsity basketball team at Churchill County High School. In the state of Nevada, I'm the first female coach to coach a boys varsity program. Back cut, back cut. Next pass. Look, look. Back cut him, back cut him. Nice, there you go, good read, Keith. Nice pass. There's really more to basketball than just the game of basketball. It really is about life lessons. Your life is full of wins and losses. You know, you feel like you've done something great and sure enough somebody will knock you down, or you feel like you're maybe not so great and then something picks you up. Go. Teaches kids discipline, teaches them about work ethic, and it teaches about being able to rely upon somebody and about a commitment to a family. Here we go, rotate. First off, you're not always going to reach your goal, right? You're not always going to make it. That's just part of life and part of basketball. What you should never do is stop or quit playing hard or stop, trying to at least get the highest number you can get. We made lots of good progress when we were early, right? So then y'all went home and had turkey legs. And then I don't know what happened, right? Like our minds aren't focused on basketball anymore. And really this is where we should be the most focused we can be. You understand? So talk to your pals and get them out, okay? Questions, Colin, guys? All right, let's go. Let's go, let's go.
love it. It's probably like my favorite basketball coach. I played for a couple different coaches, and she's just different. She pushes us. The intensity demands a lot out of us.
It really pushes us to our limits, and I think that's why we have done well the past few years. We've been just pushing hard in practice and getting what we need done.
Wave on me, wave on three. 1, 2, 3.
Wave!
We've just completed and we've won 2 state championships back-to-back, one in 2019 and one in 2020. This is the state championship team that won for the first time in 47 years, and it's pretty exciting. The last time they won a state championship was in 1971, and that was the year I was born. You can see my 2 boys together. Number 11, that was Avery when he was a sophomore. And just behind him with the big curly head, that was Hayden when he was a senior. This is our basketball trophy case. Here's our first one, and the other one is in my office because I'm not ready to give it up yet. So this is 2020 and this is 2019. And so I play those. If I'm in a bad mood, I go back and I watch both of them.
State championship, Churchill County High School taking on Elko High School. Game time, less than 10 seconds left in OT. And that's Elijah Jackson. However, not the first time it's happened. What? Flashback to 2019, Nevada Triple Boys Basketball State Championship. Elijah Jackson hitting a 3 against the same team. Ridiculous. No way. To win the state championship. No way.
Second time. Second shot. I'm fortunate to be able to coach really good athletes. I think that when you're successful, that it is a combination of, you being able to get the best out of your athletes, but you have to have good athletes to work with. It's not about gender for me. It's really about just coaching and trusting your players and, making them believe in themselves. I really did not expect to get the job. I wasn't really even going to apply for it because I didn't think that I would get it, because you don't ever see, women getting those types of positions. And so you've hired a female coach. Yes, she's coached, but now we have 2 state championships to go with that. And I think that just helps people maybe recognize. I hope that a lot of female coaches get hired to coach male programs, because I don't think it's a gender issue, right? You just don't see it very often. Although you see men coaching women's team, it's just never been done, I guess. And that's what makes it pretty special. It makes it unique. Also, a really cool thing for me is that my 2 sons were on the team and we got to share a state championship together. That's a big memory for me. So that was them playing youth basketball for me. The left one is when they were a little bit younger. The right one is when they were a little bit older. You can tell that they're getting a little bit taller than me. When they were growing up, we played a lot of different games outside at home. When they started beating me, I started using my Achilles as a crutch. When basketball season happens, that's all that we're doing. I'm at school at 7 in the morning and I don't really get home until 8:30, at night. James or Lacey is here. Are you sure? How's your day? Good. Good. Where are you going? Nowhere. No, I'm just hanging out. Oh, this looks so good. My partner at home is very supportive. Our boys are her biological sons, and she's been really supportive about having me coach them, and she's a huge part of our team as well. She travels and goes to all the games and takes our scorebook.
We love basketball.
Yeah.
We got lucky. If you get the opportunity to embrace anything that is going to bring your family together, and you get to travel together, and you get to experience success together, and you get to fail together, and you get to kind of pick yourselves up and try again together, and you get to have some early mornings and some late nights and some long weekends together, I'm not sure that it matters if it's basketball or what it is. I think it helped us in lots of different ways.
I'll never forget it. I was glad to have my mom as a coach and have my brother on the team for my year, and then for him to win it back to back is even cooler.
Yeah, I don't got so many words for it, if I'm being honest.
For me, it's the best, memories I will have with basketball will be with my family and, what we brought to Fallon, and we've been able to travel to all those tournaments together, and then I coach them, and then we get back in the car and we talk about the games. Start close, they say. Oh, 1 for 1. I was a terrible shooter in high school. And then when I went to community college, it got a little bit better because I was a little bit older. I'm thankful for Fallon. They've supported me in coaching 100%. We haven't run into issues like that. My 2019 team, some kids on other teams were, giving them a hard time about me, being gay and about them playing for a woman. And, I just told my players, I said, that doesn't hurt my feelings. And he was like, well, what do you mean, coach, it doesn't? I said, no, because it's true. Yes, I'm in a relationship with a woman, that makes me gay. And I said, I'm sorry, you have to feel like you have to defend me. You don't. I said, it does not hurt my feelings at all. Now, if they call me fat, then you can get after them, right? But other than that, just let them say whatever they want to say. And you prove your point by just playing the best basketball you can play and beating the people that are saying those mean things. And that's a life lesson, right?
I'm Olivia Dillon. I'm a 5th generation Nevadan. I am a mechanical engineer going to graduate school for ocean sciences to study oceanography and how microplastics are affecting our world. Because of quarantine, I was able to come home and be with my family. And for me this year, one of the most memorable moments that I will never forget is when I found out I did have COVID. I did get COVID, and that was very significant because I felt like I was going through something that a lot of people were afraid of. I was afraid of. My friend's mother had passed from COVID, so there was a lot of fear around getting it and not sure if you were going to end up in the hospital the next day or if you were going to be okay. You kind of look back at your life and you think, did I live to the most extent? Do I have anything held back? Do I have anything I need to say to a family or a friend? Just in case this doesn't turn out well. I think if I ended up passing away tomorrow, I would feel okay. I have done everything I could up until this day. So it encourages me to continue to live like that, so I don't have any regrets. Also, this year there was a lot of fear, but I spent a lot of time with myself and out in nature, and I will cherish these memories that I made this year more than anything. You get a lot of joy out of doing the simple things, growing your own food, taking care of your animals. While I'm here, it's a great opportunity to really connect with the earth again.